On a crisp September morning in 2007, the life of one quiet British family was shattered in a way that still echoes 18 years later. Their son, 14-year-old Andrew Gosden, was the kind of boy most parents dream of raising. Brilliant at math, deeply creative, a lover of video games and music, he had a future so bright it almost seemed inevitable. But on September 14th, Andrew left home for school, or so everyone believed. Instead, he took a different path. He withdrew £200 from his bank account, walked calmly to the train station in his hometown of Doncaster, and bought a one-way ticket to London. It was the last confirmed act of his life. What makes Andrew's disappearance so haunting is not just the silence he left behind, but the deliberate choices he made that morning. He didn't forget his backpack. He didn't leave in a rush. Every step, from skipping school to withdrawing money to boarding that train, seemed calculated. And yet, once Andrew arrived at London's King's Cross station around 11:20 a.m., he simply vanished. No one ever saw him again. Imagine it. A crowded train station in the very heart of one of the busiest cities in the world, and a boy disappears without leaving a single trace. No CCTV footage beyond the station exit. No phone calls, no messages, just silence. The question that has tormented investigators, family, and true crime enthusiasts ever since is this: was Andrew running towards something, or running from something? Over the next 15 years, countless theories have emerged. Some say he ran away to escape a life he found too ordinary. Others whisper about online predators, secret meetings, or darker worlds hidden beneath London's streets. And in recent months, new details have surfaced that make this case even stranger. This is not just the story of a boy who vanished. This is the story of choices, secrets, and the terrifying possibility that Andrew Gosden knew exactly what he was doing. So let's go back to that morning, to the last known steps of Andrew Gosden, and follow the trail into the unknown. It was a Friday morning, September 14th, 2007. The Gosden family home in Doncaster was quiet, ordinary, almost boringly normal. But inside the walls of that house, Andrew had already made a decision that would puzzle investigators for nearly 2 decades. He woke up, got dressed for school, and left the house at the usual time. But instead of heading toward the familiar path to school, Andrew walked in the opposite direction, straight toward the local cash machine. There, he withdrew £200 in cash, nearly all the money from his savings account. He had never done this before. The decision was purposeful, almost like he was preparing for something. But what? No one in his family knew. No one at school expected it. Andrew hadn't confided in a single friend. From the ATM, Andrew walked to the Doncaster railway station. It was 9:35 in the morning when he approached the ticket counter. He asked for a one-way ticket to London, not a return ticket, just one way. The ticket seller would later recall that Andrew seemed calm, polite, normal. Nothing about his demeanor suggested fear or hesitation. And yet, the choice of London is baffling. Why that city? Why that day? The train departed Doncaster around 9:35 a.m. and arrived at London's King's Cross station at 11:20 a.m. Surveillance cameras captured Andrew stepping off the train. He wore his school uniform, carried no luggage, and looked like just another student navigating the busy platforms. This was the last confirmed sighting of him. The CCTV image, grainy but haunting, shows Andrew exiting the station concourse, and then nothing. Think about that for a moment. King's Cross is one of the busiest transportation hubs in Europe. Tens of thousands of people flow through its gates every single day. And yet, within moments of leaving the platform, Andrew simply disappears. No one reported seeing him. No camera picked him up again, and no one knows what street, what bus, or what destination he walked toward. By 4 p.m., when Andrew's parents expected him home from school, he was already long gone. At first, they assumed he had stayed late for an activity, but when he didn't return by dinner, the nightmare began. Calls were made, friends were questioned, The school confirmed he had never arrived that morning. By nightfall, the Gosden family's world was collapsing. Their son wasn't late. Their son wasn't careless. Andrew had vanished. And the question that echoed in their minds was the same one that still lingers today. Why London? What pulled Andrew away from his safe suburban life into the heart of a city where he would never be seen again? What lay beyond King's Cross Station for a 14-year-old boy? And why did he walk into it without looking back? In the days following Andrew's disappearance, the investigation turned desperate. Police combed through CCTV, but apart from the single image of him at King's Cross, nothing more appeared. No sighting, no movement, no second angle. It was as if London had swallowed him whole. Investigators then turned to Andrew's life. What secrets could a 14-year-old boy possibly carry? They searched his room, his computer, his notebooks, but Andrew left behind no journal, no messages, no digital breadcrumbs. The only missing item was his prized portable game console, a PSP, raising chilling questions. Was he planning to use it for comfort on a long journey? Or did he intend to keep himself entertained in a new life? As weeks turned into months, theories multiplied. Some believed Andrew was lured online. Though he wasn't allowed much internet access at home, libraries and school computers offered opportunity. Could someone have been grooming him? Luring him to London with promises or threats? Others saw his disappearance as voluntary. Andrew was gifted, often described as beyond his years, quiet, intelligent. Some wondered if he found suburban life stifling, too ordinary, too small. Perhaps he longed for the chaos, the freedom, the anonymity of London. But if that was the case, why no trace? Runaways leave footprints, shelters, jobs, encounters. Andrew left, nothing. More disturbing theories emerged. Some whispered about secret societies, cults, underground music scenes that Andrew might have been curious about. Doncaster was quiet. London was alive with subcultures, communities that thrived in the shadows. Could Andrew have slipped into one of them? And if so, why has no one ever spoken? The years dragged on. Leads dried up. But in 2021, a strange ripple disturbed the silence. An anonymous man reached out online, claiming to be Andrew. For a moment, hope surged. Could it be him after all these years? But DNA tests quickly crushed that possibility. It was not Andrew. Just another cruel twist in a case already drenched in pain. And yet, through all the theories, online predators, voluntary escape, darker forces, the one question remains unanswered. What was Andrew's true plan? Because nothing he did that morning looked accidental. And then, in 2025, new whispers began to circulate. Whispers that Andrew's story might not be over. For years, Andrew Gosden's disappearance was a cold case, a painful memory for his family, a haunting mystery for investigators, and then silence. But in 2025, something changed. On Reddit forums dedicated to unsolved mysteries, new conversations started to spark. Not just casual speculation, but detailed, chilling posts from users claiming to have insider knowledge. They spoke about Andrew's fascination with underground music scenes in London, subcultures hidden away in clubs, abandoned basements, and secret gatherings. Could a boy who loved creativity and music have been drawn into this world? True crime communities on TikTok began dissecting the CCTV footage once again. Frame by frame, pixel by pixel, and one detail resurfaced that had been overlooked. In that final image at King's Cross, Andrew doesn't look afraid. His mouth seems to curve, just slightly, into a smile. What kind of boy smiles at the beginning of his own disappearance? This led to new theories. Perhaps Andrew wasn't abducted. Perhaps he wasn't lost. Perhaps he knew exactly where he was going. Some believe he was meeting someone, a friend from an online forum, a stranger promising music, adventure, freedom. Others wonder if Andrew had been planning this for weeks, maybe even months. The careful withdrawal of money, the choice of London, a city vast enough to swallow identities, and the deliberate purchase of a one-way ticket. It all feels intentional. But intentional toward what? A new life or a deadly trap? In August 2025, a wave of rumors surged again when an anonymous poster claimed to have seen Andrew, or someone who looked strikingly like him, in London's Camden district. The claim remains unverified. No photos, no evidence. But it reignited the question: could Andrew still be alive, hidden in plain sight, part of a subculture that refuses to surface? Investigators remain cautious. The police have not confirmed any new leads, but the public speculation has turned Andrew's story into something bigger than a single disappearance. It has become a mirror, reflecting our fears about the digital age, about predators, about the terrifying ease with which someone can vanish, even in the most watched city in the world. So what do we make of Andrew's final choices? A smile at King's Cross, a boy stepping into the crowd, a trail that ends as suddenly as it begins. 18 years later, we are still asking the same question. Was Andrew a victim or the author of his own disappearance? That's how long it has been since Andrew Gosden stepped off that train and into the unknown. For his family, those 18 years have not been measured in birthdays or holidays, but in missing posters, false leads, and endless nights wondering if their son is still alive. His parents, Kevin and Glennis, never stopped searching. They clung to hope in every phone call, every unconfirmed sighting, every rumor that surfaced. Hope and heartbreak. Imagine living with that silence. Every ring of the phone, is it him? Every knock on the door, will he walk back through it? Every stranger in a crowd. Could that be Andrew? But Andrew never came home. And so the world has filled the silence with speculation. Some say he was groomed online. Others insist he ran toward freedom, away from a life he didn't want. A few whisper of darker forces, secret lives, and hidden communities. But none of these theories bring his parents peace. Because without answers, every possibility is torture. In many ways, Andrew's case has become larger than a single boy's disappearance. It has become a symbol of the terrifying fragility of our lives. How, in a single morning, an ordinary family can fall into a nightmare that never ends. How a child can step into a city watched by thousands of cameras and leave no trace. And yet, the most haunting detail of all is not what we know, but what we don't. Why London? Why that day? Why the calm, deliberate choices of a boy who seemed to be in control, right up until the moment he vanished? Was Andrew Gosden a victim? Was he running towards something he believed in? Or did he stumble into a world so dark, so hidden, that it erased him completely? 18 years later, his story still grips us, not just because of the mystery, but because deep down we all fear the same thing, that someone we love could disappear, and we might never know why. What do you believe happened to Andrew Gosden? Is he still out there, living under a new name, hidden in plain sight? Or was his story sealed on that September morning in 2007? Tell us your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more stories of mysteries that still haunt the world, subscribe to this channel. Because Andrew's story is not just a case. It's a question that refuses to die.